Okay, I've gone ahead and logged back into the server, and you'll see that it's pretty much in its original state. I've removed all the superfluous elements. What we're going to talk about in this short video is the idea of path, and you've already begun to see it. A path is a sequence of directories with something that is possibly a file at the end of it. So to show you how that works, let's go ahead and make a directory called someplace, and let's cd into someplace. All right. Now, I'm going to introduce you to a new Unix command, cat. Cat shows the contents of a file, puts them to the screen. So let's go ahead and do this. Cat ... slash. Do you wonder what's in your .bashrc file? If you have a .bashrc file, I have a .bashrc file, and I can see inside of that file. Okay, I just displayed its contents to the screen, and you can see that this alias thing, actually, my dirty little secret is if you use the -i option, and it will always ask before clobbering a file. So an alias is just a shortcut for a command. It gives another name to a command. So cat shows you the contents of a file. And this thing right here, this is called a relative path. What is it relative to? It's relative to your current working directory, okay? So your shell is a program, and every program has some directory that it sees into. So when you are, quote, in a directory, this is the directory that your shell can see into. Okay, so relative path is relative to your current working directory. But there's another type of path that's out there called an absolute path. And an absolute path comes in three guises. One is an absolute path can start with a tilde. Ooh, what is that? Tilde means my home directory. It is an absolute path. No matter where you are in the operating system, if you type cd tilde, you are now in your home directory. Is that a big deal? Well, it's a big deal when you use it in combination with a path. So if you want to know, say I go cd/home, all right, now I'm way away from my home directory. But if I go ls tilde /bin, it will list the contents of the bin directory that's in my home directory. Okay, so if you want to access your home directory from a path, absolutely, you can do so by beginning with a tilde. Now, here's another thing a tilde will do. I'm going to go tilde /. He might have this directory. We'll see. Ooh, no, he does not have that directory. Oh, let me try somebody else. I think this one has it. Oh, and I need to do this. Oh, I see what I did wrong. Ooh, okay, she doesn't have one. Let me go back to Keith and Kleiner. I made a very common mistake. You don't put a slash after the tilde. Otherwise, you're indicating that item is in your home directory. And look, he has an index.html file. Hey, I wonder if we can see its contents. Cat tilde underscore HTML slash index.html. Hey, look at that. He has a very impressive home page with the title Primitive Page and the paragraph foo in it. Okay, so cat allows you to see things. Now, this is a path. So we're going into Keith and Kleiner's home directory. We're accessing his public underscore HTML directory. And then we're viewing a file called index.html. We can also use this in conjunction with ls. Let's get rid of the index.html. And let's go ahead and type ls here and see what happens. See, that's the only file that's present. Now you can, of course, do things like this. And you can ls a file. Now, if you ls a file without any options, it's rather dull. But if you ls a file with an option, such as -l, you can see information about that file. You can see he created that file on March 8th, 2017. And you can see that he's in his own group and owner, that there's 102 bytes in it. And then it shows you the full path of the file. Now, so far we've met tilde. That's an absolute path to your home directory. We've met tilde username. That's an absolute path to a username's home directory. Now, if the user doesn't give you permissions, you may not be able to see inside of it, in which case you'll be rebuffed by the shell. Now, the third form of it, let's cd back here, is if a directory starts from a slash, if you start a path with a slash, that's an absolute path specified from the root. So I've just listed home, ls/home/2021. Okay, I can see the contents of the 2021 directory. So there are three types of absolute paths. There is tilde, that's your home directory. Then you put a slash after it, and you can access things inside of your home directory. There's tilde username, and that's an absolute path to that user's name's home directory. And then there's paths that begin with a slash that specify where something is, either a file or a directory, from the root directory. So there are three types of absolute paths. An absolute path always must begin with a tilde or a slash. Any other path is a relative path. Again, what's it relative to? It's relative to your current working directory. You see where I am now. So I can list a directory far away from where I am. There we go. I listed the directory etc. Okay, and I can see, and there are things I might not have permission to do, but let's go ahead and do this. Let's do ls/etc/httpd. Ooh, look at that. Sometimes directory names, by the way, have a... Now let's try listing conf. Okay, and then, you know, if we try to cat, let's try catting and see what happens here. Okay, almost assuredly, we do not have permission to change any of these things. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, oops. I went a little crazy. Oh, I see. I forgot my slash. And you can see that you can actually read this file. So you have read permission for this file. If I come up here and do an ls-l, Okay, you can see that there's an across-the-board read permission. So everyone can read this file, but only the owner can write it. Okay, we'll learn about setting permissions later, so now you know about paths. Paths lead you to things. They lead you to files. They lead you to directories. You can use them in conjunction with ls, cd, to go to a particular directory path. You know, so you can go cd/home/2017, and you will go from wherever you are, doesn't matter where you are in the file system, you'll go right to home 2017, and you'll see a list with all these terrible people in it that I never got around to deleting. Okay? So now, one other little CD tip I will give you for today is this one. Let's go cd/etc. If I go cd and a minus sign, I'll go to the previous directory I was in, right? And so if I want to shuttle between two directories, here's a really convenient way to do it. If I'm working in two different directories, I can shuttle back and forth by just using the cd minus command. That's an extremely useful little goodie. So now you know about paths and how they work. And next time, what we'll do is we'll start looking at the VI editor and how the VI editor works. So we want to know how to edit files. That's the next step. Because if you can't edit files, you can't do very much. But that'll be for next time. So I'm going to go ahead and exit my way out. And I'll see you next time.